Okay, this is going to be a gaming video. I want to talk a little about the horses on Red Dead. First of all, they are amazingly beautiful. And, but however, I would love to talk to Rockstar's research team. I'm sorry, there's still a lot of things wrong with them. And I don't know if some of this may have been deliberate or an oversight. Personally, there's two particular people I think Rockstar should have gotten who each have more than 40 years experience with horses. And I'll try to remember to link their channels down later. I won't be able to right away. But I'll try to link their channels. But first of all, do not harass either of these people. One of them gets often accused of being sexist and, a misogynist and that he hates women. He doesn't. It's just a lot of women like horses, and a lot of these women, they just make a lot of mistakes. Both men and women make mistakes on horses. It's not just men, it's not just women. So no, I don't think this guy's a sexist. So do not harass him. If you don't like him, just don't watch his channel. But anyways, some of the things I've noticed, the main thing they seem to have gotten wrong are a lot of the names of the colors. Like this one here, they're calling a silver dapple. It's actually just a dapple gray. This here is a silver gray, but it can also be a silver blue roan. Yeah, I got kicked. That's funny. Thing is, at that time, they probably just called it a gray. Who knows? They did not use some of the terms we use today. Like then, a bay horse was called a red. This is why a bay horse that is roan is actually called a red roan. It is not called a bay roan. And the game has another horse they're calling a red roan, that's not even close to a red roan. It's a sorrel, which I'll put that on the screen later. I did get a picture of one. When you have a horse frightened of a wild animal, yeah, they're going to panic, but once you get it away from the animal, most likely it'll calm itself down. On this game, the horse continues till you calm it. And to be honest, online, I hate calming it. I really hate it because all they do is shh, shh, and that just makes no sense to me. Here in the story, though, you'll hear Arthur or John actually speak to the horse, easy girl or easy boy, which is 100 billion times better. I do like that the stamina is better on this game. A lot of games, they give you such terrible stamina on these horses, and I just keep wondering, have they ever ridden a real horse? Whoever did the writing for this game did a good job. You know, this rider, they've got good balance, they've got good rhythm with the horse. They really did a good job. So don't get me wrong, there's 80% great about these horses and 20% wrong. I didn't like how small the Arabians were. They looked a little smaller than what they should be. I don't know if they scaled them with real people. Okay, this is the one that they're calling a red roan. This is a sorrel. Again, I'll type it on the screen when I'm done recording. This isn't even close to a red roan. A red roan is a bay horse that's roan. For those of you who don't know what a roan is, it is a genetics that discolors the horse's coat. It does not affect the mane and tail, maybe in a very few cases, but like I would say 95% of the time, the mane and tail will remain the same color. So it will still have the black mane and tail. Now what I'm coming to here is a cougar attack, and this is my biggest problem with the game. When horses are frightened, their instinct is to run. That's it. There's an extremely slim chance they're going to buck you off. The vast majority of the time, they're going to run with you. This is another red roan. This is not a bay roan. It is a red roan. It's pretty, don't get me wrong, but it's just wrong. And this here, right quick, you have to desensitize your horse to dogs. A dog is a predator animal. A horse is a prey. They run. And yeah, here comes the cougar. See, bucking you off requires stopping. Your horse does not want to stop. It wants to run. They're not going to stop, to buck you off unless something is holding them back. The right thing to do is actually to just relax, hold on, do not throw yourself off the horse. Some idiots do this. You abandon your poor horse and there's no telling what will happen. When they panic, they go into what's known as a blind run. It means they do not pay attention. And they've been known to run into traffic or even go blindly into fences, off cliffs and such like. Stay with your horse and guide it. Do not jump off. I hate people who do this. But they're not that likely to buck you off. They may. I'm not saying it never happens, so don't go in the comments and say, but it happens. Stop typing, okay? This here they're calling a silver bay. There's no such thing. This is a chocolate palomino.
I travel alone.
And I'm surprised though that they even have the chocolate roan on here, because the chocolate roan is a brown horse that's roan. The blue roan is a black horse that's roan. A strawberry roan is a chestnut that's roan, and I love the strawberry roan on here. In fact, I'm still looking for a glitch that'll get me that horse early. If anyone knows of one, link me the video. Besides the last one someone off. I've tried that, I still haven't got it. And in case you're wondering, I got this horse through another glitch. As you can see, I've got Arthur on a horse that he's not supposed to have. If you go up near Bacchus Bridge near the beginning of the game, you'll find that limping woman, and for some reason this horse won't be dead. It may take a number of tries, so save it like in Valentine or something, or close by, maybe near Emerald Ranch, maybe close to Moonstone Pond, and just keep going back to that bridge, and sooner or later this horse will be alive. I think it took me about 100,000 tries. Okay, maybe not that many. But they did do a good job with as far as the horse just getting afraid of these wild animals. Yes, they do run, but they'll usually run with you. Now these horses here, they still need to fix these harnesses, which I'm going to add that in later. There's no such thing as a mealy chestnut. That is a dark palomino. There's no mealy chestnut. Again, I don't know where Rockstar's getting some of this stuff. And this horse here, with these bounty hunters, they're calling this a flaxen chestnut. This is just a plain brown horse. The Hungarian half-bred is the flaxen chestnut. And just so you know, there was no Hungarian half-bred then. This horse was bred in the 1950s. And there was no Dutch warm blood. This horse was bred in the 1930s and is a favorite horse for jumping and dressage and such. I do think, by the way, they should have put English saddles and Australian saddles on this game, at least online. Because some people preferred the English saddle and Australian saddle because they're lighter than Western saddles. And by the late 1800s, a lot of these have been brought over from Australia and Great Britain. And I do think the women should be on side saddles. I hate watching them ride sideways on these Western saddles at a gallop. That's next to impossible, even the best riders in the world. The guy who invented the side saddle, yes, a man invented it. The man who invented it did so because he saw these women riding like that on these Western saddles, or sometimes English saddles, but they were all twisted around and they couldn't go faster than a walk without having extreme difficulty staying on the horse. Side saddles are specifically designed, and later on I'll try to remember to put a link to a very good short YouTube documentary about side saddles, and the lady will show you how to ride on one and how they're used. She did a very good job. In fact, these side saddles even allow you to be able to jump horses, which brings me to my next point. I would like a setting in the settings to turn off this horse's automatic jumping. I hate these horses jumping rocks. They don't normally do that. Maybe if they're running from a predator, but most commonly they won't do it because rocks are jagged and you know they could easily get hurt. They can't see. These horses that are jumping fences, you know, these fences are placed on flat ground when you see these jumping competitions. Okay, that horse there, there's no such thing as a red chestnut. That's a dark chestnut. Now online they had this Arabian, they'll call it a red chestnut. That thing is what we call a burgundy bay. There is no red chestnut. Again, I'm going to get to these harnesses in a moment. I will say the mule, good job. On the old game, they were calling the donkey a mule. Okay, the donkey is little. It's that tiny little thing. This here, there's no black Rubicano, I guess is how you say it. This is a steel gray or an iron gray. In the United States and Canada, it's usually a steel gray. In most of Europe, In Australia, they call it an iron grey. Again, this is a chocolate palomino or a dark palomino, either one.
If you're interested.
This should have black mane and tail. This is your red roan. This is actually a dapple bay. There's no sooty buckskin. Where they're getting this is beyond me. I don't know if they're watching the Saddle Club or what. Don't get me wrong, the horses on this game are magnificently beautiful. But, you know, there's just so many mistakes made here. I mean, I'm just saying they could do better. I'm not complaining. I love these horses. And actually, I'm about out of time. I'm going to add some more to this here in a minute. But I do have a little more to say. So hold on a moment.
Need a break from that horse. They're always welcome back.
Okay, so let me quickly give you a little information on the harnesses.
Jesus.
This thing in the middle, it's called the tug or the pull. Excuse me again. The harness is supposed to be attached to this in a specific way. Now, they have it up front, not very well. It should be closer to the collar and tighter than this. But here in the middle, it should be attached at the shoulders and at the hips, and it should be just a little higher. The way the game has it, there's no way the horses could stop or back up these wagons. They've got them being pulled solely by leather straps, which is not possible. Now, these wagons did have a brake, often called a drag shoe. It was usually on the left, but some would put two of them, put them on both sides, and a few put them on the right. You know, just depending on who made that particular wagon. Just like with today's cars, some people like Chevrolet, some people like Ford, some like Ferrari. So, you know, there were different wagon companies as well. And where the thing swivels when you turn these, that's called the T-swivel. But just all in all, they do not have the harnesses properly attached. And one thing I'll say off topic, I like how you see the guy opening the doors. I always hated how most games the doors just magically open. I love this realism. You know, you see the guy actually opening it, so that kudos to Rockstar. And some people would have these wagons being pulled without those blinders. Now, in some areas we call them blinders. I think the British call them blinkers, but one or the other, it restricts a horse's vision, and it's really not good, but they very often used them then. See, when you have this one-horse cart, I'm just using the gun to point, the horse should be closer to the cart, and the front of that wagon, the bar, tug, should be at the collar attached there, and the back of it, you can see where they've got the rings attached to attach it, but they just don't have it attached. I mean, what's holding this up? That's very confusing. I mean, I'm not complaining, but sorry about that. Anyways, I'm not complaining, just pointing a few things out that they could get better for a little more realism.
I want you to ask yourself,
I mean, no one's perfect, and I get that. My problem is people who know nothing about horses may go out and use some of these terms, like they'll see a red roan, they'll say, hey, look at that bay roan, and I don't want somebody calling you stupid. Because I believe the vast majority of people playing this are not stupid. So, I just don't want y'all to go out and look stupid, because I don't think you are. Rockstar did do so much better on the horses, as well as other things, but they could have done a little better. The main thing I would like to have is some type of bitless bridle, preferably a bowsaw. That really goes with the Wild West. The bowsaw was kind of, not completely, but kind of invented by Native Americans. They didn't have blacksmiths to make bits and shoes, so they didn't have bits and shoes. But I would like to have, just look them up on YouTube, B-O-S-A-L. These are pretty much like rope halters, but leather, and they're the reins are attached at the bottom or at the sides, which is also called a side pull. And I would love to have these, because I hate bits. These things are pain devices. They were meant to cause pain. That's the whole point of them. And those long bits, you've seen some of these bridles have long bits, those put so much pain on a horse. You pull the rein with 5 pounds of pressure, the horse gets 20 on its mouth. The little bits on this game, those are called snackle bits. You pull the rein with 5 pounds, horse gets 5 pounds. But even that's pain, especially for someone who's big and strong. And some people add a tie down, keeps the horse's head tied down, and it lets them put more pain and pressure on the bit. And I just hate all of this stuff. And I take Arthur's spurs off too, and John's. You don't need to torture your horse with those things, so I got rid of them. I don't use any of this stuff on my real horse. I don't use bits, spurs, or whips. These things are just torture devices. Just gain your horse's trust and respect, and I promise you it'll listen to you. You don't have to do all this torture to it. But I give these horses on a scale of 1 to 10 about a 9.2. They're great, but they could be better. And just maybe Rockstar at least consider some of these changes later. So enjoy the game, have fun, and be good to your horse, both real and on the game.
I'll put you on the floor.
This damn place.